Hey guys, my name is Adil Ashraf and you're listening to the MedStudent Wellbeing series. So welcome to the podcast, Fayyaz. You're my
Thank
first
you.
guest.
Uh-huh.
And how do you feel about that?
I'm nervous. This is my first podcast.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Oh God.
So about Fayyaz, he is doing his computer science course right now in Heriot-Watt University. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, anything to add to
Yeah.
that?
No, that's it. I just do my computer science degree, guys.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of work also. A lot of work, lot of hustling.
You don't need to add that. I'm not doing any other work. It's chill.
Yeah, that's fine. So today's topic is about Gilbert Syndrome, something which Fayaz knows a lot about. He's been living through it since the past few years, so he has a
If
lot of
you.
first-hand experience about it.
Uh-huh.
He can talk about it to us and let us know more. About in depth about the Gilbert Syndrome.
Uh-huh. In depth about Gilbert syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do I start?
So
Uh,
wait,
so
so wait, wait. Before that, we can start from like the very beginning. When did the first thing happen? Like the first indication that something isn't right. Something is not feeling good. So when did that
okay.
happen for you?
So I didn't specifically know, obviously, that this was Gilbert syndrome until like much later. But I'm guessing when I was like way young, like I was 9 or 8 or 11 or something, I'm not sure. I had like a very bad pain around my stomach, abdominal pain,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like really bad. Uh, like it just felt like internal bleeding or some shit, and just my whole face went pale. I was about to faint, and my lips went like pink. No, sorry, purple. And it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then it lasted for like a good 30 to 40 minutes. And yeah,
But
that's
like, wait,
mostly what I
like,
remember.
did something happen before that, like which triggered it, or was it like just spontaneous?
No, it was completely random. There was literally nothing to it. Like it was just me just going by my day and me wanting to maybe use the washroom, and then I'm just like, oh crap, why is this pain still there? And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's a tummy ache. But then I
Mm-hmm.
lay down for a bit, and I'm like, okay, shit, it's still not going. And then it just gets worse and worse and worse, and it just stays there for like such a long time. It feels like forever, but it's really bad. It hurts really
Uh,
bad.
yeah, I remember you
Uh,
saying that, like, it was a 11 out of 10 pain. It was the
Yes, a
worst pain.
very yes. Oh my God, it was so bad. There were points when it happened, like not the first time, but later on when it happened, I actually thought I was going to die. Like I was like, okay, this is
Holy
it.
shit.
Like I'm dead. Like this is gone. There's nothing left for me here. Like those thoughts have gone multiple times through my head. And it wasn't as a joke. It was literally like, oh shit, this is over. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, it gets really bad. And I've felt a lot of like I have pretty decent amount of pain tolerance,
Uh-huh.
but it's this because like I don't know how to put it, but nothing's come close to this. I've broken hands, I've broken my bones, I've scratched up a lot like I'm not like foreign to pain, but still like this was really really bad.
And
Definitely 11 out of 10.
and also like, so when you got it first time, yeah, the first episode of this pain, so how did that end up? Like, how did that resolve? Like, what happened then?
Okay, so it mostly just faded away. Like it got a
Mm-hmm.
little better and better and better, and it just like faded off until I could like, okay, I could bear with it, and then it just over the course of like 10, 15 minutes, it just fades off.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but then during that period, you can feel it, like, and you can feel it get worse, and you'll know it's gonna keep getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
like
like it
knowing
goes
that
up
while
and then it goes down like that.
yeah, it goes up, stays there for like a good 30 to 40 minutes, and then it starts going down slowly.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how that goes. And I think I've had a total of like 12, maybe 9 to 12 episodes like that.
12 episodes of like this extreme
Yeah,
pain.
yeah, really bad pain.
Damn.
Like there was a point where I fell in my washroom and I like almost passed out and I couldn't move. My
Oh shit.
parents had to pick me up and put me into the bed, and stuff like that. So it's happened quite a few times. Once it happened outside, once I fainted because of it. So yeah, it gets really bad.
Damn. So when this happened first time, yeah, you were like around like 9, 10, I guess.
Yeah.
And what did the doctor say that time?
Oh,
Like at that time.
no, we didn't go to any doctors. We're just like, oh, okay, it's just a tummy ache. Happens to all
This
the
is this
kids.
is
It's
well, this is like a desi household. It's just a tummy
yeah,
ache. It'll go in
it's
sometime.
chill. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Like 3 years later, you fall on the floor. Oh, it's okay. Probably ate something. Didn't probably feel good. You ate yogurt and fish together. That's why, huh?
Yeah, it's your fault. It's
Yeah, it's
100% your
your
fault.
fault. Yes.
Oh man. So then like when did that thing happen that okay, I should go to the doctor right now? Something is really wrong or something is not going quite right.
Okay,
More than a tummy ache.
so that wasn't the reason why I went to the doctor regarding this. It was actually one of the other symptoms, which is having a yellow eyesight, like yellow eyes. So I'd gone to the doctor because I had a fever or something, and somebody, I think it was one of the nurses, saw that I had a yellow eyes, and then they went like, okay, you might have jaundice. So they went like, okay, we need to do the test for it or something, and then I had a few blood tests for it, and I came pretty clean on that. But they were still kind of confused because my eyes were pretty yellow. And then they went like, okay, we need to look into it a bit more. They looked into it and they saw something called an indirect bilirubin that was pretty high. Now later on, when like after a while, after we actually started looking into it and stuff, and a few months later down the line, we kind of figured out the reason why I had that yellow eyes during the fever time was because whenever I had a fever, I used to have paracetamol, and whenever I had paracetamol, it used to induce these yellow colored eyes because of inducing indirect bilirubin into my bloodstream from my liver or some complicated stuff like that. I don't really get it properly, but yeah.
Like the yellowing of the eye, yeah, it's kind of like the first sign of jaundice, like because like first your eye becomes yellow, then the other parts become, and yeah, and also like yeah, I think we learned in medical school like that like what happens in the Gilbert syndrome is like your indirect bilirubin goes up. So that nurse was really really cool nurse. She found it for you.
Yeah, trust me. Otherwise, till date, I wouldn't know. Like, just casual tummy aches once in a while. Almost die. That's about it.
My God. No, but yeah, that's true. And like, so then you got to know that there was like something, some kind of jaundice type of thing happening. So then from there, what was your journey to your diagnosis? Like, cause I think you got diagnosis recently, not that long ago.
Okay, so I got a diagnosis about 3 to 4 years ago. That's when initially the whole thing started. Like, when we started looking behind why do I have a high indirect bilirubin, and it actually took a while for us to figure it out. We had to keep jumping doctors, and no one gave us any conclusive answer. And one of the doctors,
So what do these people like? What are they saying when they saw your situation? Like, what do they say? Like they said, no, we can't help you or something.
No, it more just went like, so we went to the first doctor that initially we went to. He was a general physician. He told, okay, go refer this other doctor. The other doctor looks into it and goes like, okay, let me refer you another doctor. The other doctor goes to us, and then we have to go to the third doctor. And the third doctor is like, okay, do these scans and come back to us. And then we do those scans and come back to us, and then they redirect me to another doctor. So with those new scans, we go there and go to the fourth or fifth doctor, and the fifth doctor goes like, okay, do some more scans on this. So we do more scans over there, and this takes time because obviously we have to wait for it, wait for an appointment, wait for the scans, wait for the results and everything, right? We get those back, and then the doctor goes like, okay, there doesn't seem to be anything that's too wrong. Maybe it was just some coincidence or something, some excuse he'll give. And then we're like, okay, but then why did this happen? And they're not really sure about it. So we have another family doctor who is right now in Canada. So we contacted him, and then he told, okay, go to this other doctor. We go to the other doctor, he refers another doctor, the second doctor over there. He actually goes like, okay, this is potentially something that's called Gilbert, that could be Gilbert Syndrome.
Wait, so
but
who said that? Which doctor said this?
The second doctor that was referred by the doctor that was referred by my family relative. he finally came to that conclusion. Only issue was when he did that, he was so excited, he was so enthusiastic about it. My mother got a little triggered, and she wasn't happy with it. And
wait. Tell again. I didn't get that part.
So basically, when the doctor kind of came to that conclusion, he was a little too excited about it, and he was like, okay, this is a very rare disease. He was like full happy smiley face. It's like a very rare situation. Usually I've never seen any other patient who has who has this specific syndrome in like the past 20 years of my practicing and stuff like that. And he was like full excited. My mom got really triggered. She got up, she left like, what? And then my dad also just got up and left, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, I'll also just leave. And yeah, I went, and then my mom was like, that's not how you treat your patients. Like, you don't get excited about something that's wrong with them. And I was like,
about the doctor, like I think like, like normally he doesn't get much rare diseases, like maybe he just gets a common cold and all that stuff. And then when he got to know, like, okay, I got some really rare disease, so like I can finally be able to have that experience. So he got too excited. But actually, like if you think logically, for example, if someone has some kind of rare cancer, okay, which is like life threatening, obviously if you're going to be happy and be like, oh dude, you have the rare cancer, you're going to die soon. That's not a good way to talk to the patient.
Exactly. Like if he told that to be alone, I would kind of be like, oh, so cool. But like my mom and dad's there as well, dude. Like no.
Yeah, he should probably told it to his colleagues. Like maybe his colleagues would have appreciated more than the person's parents.
Exactly. So we left that doctor, but we now have this small clue. Okay, something called Gilbert Syndrome. So we told that to the next doctor, and the next doctor told us, okay, go get the liver scans and stuff. We got that, but my liver functioning seemed all good. So then it just came like became like really inconclusive, and the doctor went like, okay, so all the symptoms and everything that you're showing shows us that it's potentially Gilbert syndrome, but there is not any solid evidence for it, except for the fact that you get tired or exhausted when you have paracetamol and your eyes become yellow and there's high indirect bilirubin. All of this indicate the fact that it is most probably Gilbert syndrome, but there's no issues with your liver functioning. So as long as you don't have any paracetamol, you should be fine.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that was it? Like they just sent you.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. So we kind of concluded that it was Gilbert syndrome, but some variation of it, where my liver functioning seems mostly normal, at least for most periods of the time.
In our medical literature, or like medical textbooks, so you could say, in that like Gilbert syndrome is again a very very small place. Like it's like a very like Chintu disease, a small disease. I mean.
Yeah.
Like so like it's just like a small toothy lines. And they just be like, no clinical consequences are really noted in this. And that's it, they move on. So yeah, I feel that's one of the reasons why all these doctors must be like, whatever. But like, no one really mentions that, you get such extreme levels of pain. And then you get like, this weird reaction with Panadol and all that stuff.
It's actually a lot of stuff which even I didn't really know much about. Then I started looking into it. Like I have another skin condition, which is my skin turns white, really dry, and gets really itchy if I am exposed to sunlight. Because of that, I stay in Dubai, so it's really sunny and stuff. So I wear a hoodie like the whole time, all the time.
That's bad.
Yeah. So I have to wear a hoodie like 24/7. Like doctors advise me to wear sunscreen when I sleep. Like that's the level of issues that I can get if I'm like exposed to sunlight. And actually it's not just sunlight specifically, it's anything within this visible spectrum. It's a photolytic, some sort of, I don't know, it's something that's
like photosensitivity, like you're sensitive to light.
Yeah, not sensitive, but like sort of allergic kind of thing. I don't know, but it's mostly it gets really bad with sunlight, and it's actually possible with any form of long exposure with light.
So you wear hoodies in the Dubai temperature, Dubai weather?
Yes, all the time. Like I have like a lot of hoodies just because. If I'm wearing shirts, it's full sleeves all the time. T-shirts, full sleeves. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a thing which no one knows about. Like the small things which we don't really think about.
Yes. So people ask me like, why do you wear hoodies? I'm like, see, it's either this or I gotta wear like sunscreen 24/7, and that's annoying. So I'm just like, you know what, just wear a hoodie. It's much easier.
Yeah, you just like just sweat like sweat a lot, and then just feel hot all the time. Yeah. That's all. That's completely fine.
But I have another. So I don't really sweat a lot, which is okay. This one I don't know if it's related to Gilbert's or not, but I have like okay. I feel warmer than most people, but my temperature is not really high. Like like you could ask anyone, like even in a very cold temperature, I'll be pretty warm to touch. Like my hands, it's really hard to get my hands actually cold. So like even if the AC is like brought down all the way to like 18 degrees Celsius and everyone's like freezing, my hands will be like really warm, like all the time. So that's something. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah, it's
I don't know, dude. Even
but like whenever my friends feel cold, they just like put their freaking hands on my face and neck and hand, like, yeah, bro, give me your hand, bro. I'm like, okay, there you go.
Yeah, well, I think they have a good use for you. No, I mean, it's good. It's all good, There's some. Yeah, I wouldn't call this benefits, but yeah, there are some small benefits, I guess.
Yeah, so, it's so funny.
Like, yeah, it's actually funny. So like on a day-to-day basis, like like do you have any like, or you say, like you said you can't have Panadol, yeah, at all. So like, when did you have this? That like did you have a Panadol and then you feel like, okay, I can't have this anymore, or like did it just happen like because the doctor said you can't have Panadol?
Okay, so I actually had felt the effects of Panadol a lot, but I never really recognized that it was because of the Panadol, because whenever I was not well is when I used to have a paracetamol, right? So I used to just think, okay, maybe it's because of that, like I'm tired or whatever. But the doctor told me that it's because I'm not supposed to eat it. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And this actually happened after a very bad session where I was sick with a fever, and it was just a normal fever. And I had over 1 day, I had 3 Panadols, morning, lunch, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had 3 Panadols, and I was bedridden for 2 weeks. I lost about 11 kgs, and I couldn't move.
Wait,
like,
when did this happen? Like, when did this happen?
This happened around my 12th grade.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so I had about 3 Panadols, and then I lost around 11 kilos of weight. I got like really skinny and weak. I couldn't eat food. I couldn't go to the washroom. I was bedridden, like completely bedridden. That's solely because it was just a normal fever, and it got really bad. And then there was this one time where I was actually like very curious, like, is it really because of this? And I had a really bad headache, like a very, very, very bad headache. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try using like 1 Panadol. Like, I'll just try 1 Panadol. So yeah, but it helps the pain. I don't get the pain. Like, it actually helps with the pain, but I just die. Like, I'm out of energy. Like, I can't move. I can't walk. I just lay on the bed. I can't do anything else.
Yeah, so it's like a symptomatic pain, but like inside the body is doing much more worse things to you.
Yeah, it's just like I'm tired, like I'm exhausted. Yeah, so that's one annoying thing. I can't have paracetamol no matter what I'm going through. So yeah, that's there. Yeah, that's really annoying though.
Yeah. And also, like, just a random question, but like, what's the reaction you get, like, when you tell the people that I have this Gilbert syndrome, like, what's the reaction you get normally?
That's not a cool name. I'm not joking. That's like a lot of people have.
Say that?
Yeah, a lot of people have told me. They actually went like, that's not such a cool name, like Gilbert syndrome. Like, could it be something else? Like, who's Gilbert? Like, I don't know, man. It's just that. Like, and people usually get more, not excited, but like more like intrigued when I say, they ask me like, why are you wearing hoodies? I go like, because I'm allergic to sunlight. It's like, oh, allergic to sunlight? I'm like, yeah, it's something called Gilbert syndrome because of that. Like, oh, allergic to sunlight? I'm like, yeah, never mind. You stop there. And like, okay.
No, I mean, like, I found the name pretty cool, like Gilbert syndrome and all. But, actually, like, I was watching something, okay, and they're like, the name is not Gilbert syndrome, it's Gilbert syndrome. I don't know. I'm not sure, okay. I'm not sure how accurate this is because the whole time I've learned it as Gilbert syndrome only.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and also like when I heard about your this Gilbert Syndrome first thing, I was like so so excited. I'm like, damn.
My mom's gonna kill you.
Yeah, no, I was actually very very excited. When I got to know from Abis, he's like he told me like I have a friend who has some kind of he has some, what do you say, some yellowing of the eyes and stuff. I'm like, oh damn, it could be some kind of this liver problem and stuff. And then he told Gilbert syndrome. I'm like, oh damn, that's kind of cool. But obviously, like I don't know that you had all this pain and shit. Because dude, that time I was like, okay, Gilbert syndrome is kind of like a chill disease. It's not having any much much
No.
symptoms. But like after talking to you, I'm like, oh damn, there's a lot of symptoms. You get like some extreme level of pain. You cannot
Yeah.
have Panadol. You cannot wear normal like clothes. You have to wear hoodie every time. Like damn,
Yeah,
like,
it gets.
all these things we won't know unless we actually talk to the people who are dealing with it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting.
Added to that, I have I'm pretty anemic as well. I don't know if that has anything to do with this. At this point, I'm like, okay, something or the other is connected to this shit, some way or the other. I actually had another friend. I forgot who it was, but I had a friend who also had the same thing as me. A friend's relative.
You also had Gilbert syndrome.
Yeah, the person also had Gilbert's because
We should call him on this show.
But I don't remember who it was. It was like a while back, like I think like 4 years back. They went like, oh shit, that must hurt. I'm like, how do you know about it? And then I think it was that person itself or that person's relative or friend or someone who has the same issue, and they told me like, oh, this thing hurts like a lot. I'm like, wow, you're the first person who knows about the pain part of that.
Who understands me.
Yeah, who do you trust? It hurts so much. Oh god, I wish I could explain it, but it's so bad. That pain is so bad. I've only felt like 12 times, but
does it ever get better? Like the pain, like like now that it's going to hurt like crazy. Does it feel better like next time it happens, or is it still the same?
In fact, the second last time it happened was like the worst. Like, dude, I don't know how. Like, okay, it's like having a cramp way within your body, and you can't do anything to help it, and that cramp actually is like tearing or something. Like, and that too, it's like internally, right? It's not even like outside. Like okay, so I wake up with cramps in middle of the night, and I wake up and I just like push my leg out. Like I wake up with my calves having cramps because I walk a lot and run a lot.
Shit.
So I wake up with like in the middle of the night, like from my sleep, I'd wake up with having a cramp, and I'd literally just wake up. I just like push the cramp out, and I would go back to sleep. Like I'm chill at that level, right? But this is so bad. I cannot bear the pain. Like when I say I cannot bear it, like it's traumatizing to think about it. Like that's how bad it is. Like it's really bad. Like I've had my nail gone off, and that didn't hurt even anything close to this. And bro, it's so bad. And then there's nothing you can do to help it because like it's literally
you can't take Panadol.
Like I'm not in the situation to even swallow anything. I can barely breathe. I can barely like lay down properly. Like if I move a little bit, it hurts. I can't get up. I can't drink water. I can't do anything.
So what is the there's no doctor who has told you like what you can do for this when you have these episodes, that no one has told you like how to deal with it?
In fact, I don't think I've ever talked to anyone about it. Even the doctors. All I've said is it hurts sometimes, and that's it. They never like dwelled or went too deep about it. In fact, I don't really know how to explain it. I can just say it's abdominal pain, and like that's all I can say. Like it like I don't know what would I even be able to do? Like when it hurts, like all I can do is move around just so that I can feel or make it feel like it's getting a little better or something like that, right? Like all I can do is move a bit, and if I try getting up, like I can't walk, I can't do anything. It's terrible. Like it's really bad.
I think that is like like that's kind of actually really bad that the doctors also didn't really dwell deeper. But I'm not sure. I can't really talk for them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
It's rare. It's rare though, because it happened like. I think once it happened in 1 month, like 2 times, and then it didn't happen for like 3 years. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like that thing, you never know when it's gonna happen. It's like,
Yeah.
it can happen anytime.
Yeah, when it does, it's hell though.
Constant, like, your life is like a constant, cliffhanger. It could happen any day.
Nah,
But yeah,
see, I don't think. Yeah,
yeah, I
continue.
think like just if you just avoid it, like avoiding the triggers, it could help in preventing it much. But yeah, obviously it's not 100% thing. Yeah, I guess.
I
It can
don't know
happen.
what the trigger is because there are times when I just woke up in the morning and like haven't eaten anything after like a few hours. I just like this just randomly start and I'm like, what? Like why? Why now? Like just let me be.
Yeah.
But nah, it's just bad.
No, I mean, yeah, actually, yeah, I can feel that, like, how much you hate it by talking to you. Right.
Oh God.
Anyways, yeah, so like I'll just ask the last question for this
Hmm.
episode. So is there any message that you would like to say to, like, other people with Gilbert's, or just like, anyone in general who wants to know about the disease or syndrome?
Okay, so well, to say something. I mean, rather than just relying on doctors to help you out, do some own research on yourself because you don't know what's happening to you better than the doctors don't know what's happening to you better than yourself. So go ahead, if you feel something's wrong with you, just Google it up. Like, I'm not saying you rely on that itself or just only rely on Google and not go to the doctor if you have some issue, but like look into it yourself. It's your own body, it's your own stuff. So look into it, see if you can figure something out, and make sure you tell everything even if it seems like completely irrelevant. And the issue is you won't really know because you like unless you look it up, right? You won't really know what's wrong with you, whether you're feeling extreme amounts of fatigue just because of a fever or if it's because you had paracetamol. So you won't really know that until you actually look up everything yourself and have a good idea of what all it could be. That would help the doctor kind of figure out what the heck's
Yeah.
wrong with you.
Yeah, I think, like, being able to communicate, like, what's actually happening, because I feel like, doctors, like, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a medical student right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, maybe they're like, they're just very short on time. So, like, they want information, like, right now, like, the shortest condensed thing. I don't think that's right, but, like, I guess, like, being able to communicate better, like, knowing how you experience the pain or thing and able to communicate that better might
Mhm.
help, the doctors. But I think, obviously the doctors should like, if they feel like something is wrong, they should like dive deeper into that, and like extract the information from you. It shouldn't be the
Yeah.
other way around.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
it helps, situations like
yeah, it
this, it
helps.
helps. And yeah, okay, guys, if any of you have Gilbert syndrome, I'll give you a checklist. If you go to the sunlight and if you go into the sunlight and you feel like your skin is getting dry, itchy, or white, if it turns white, okay, that's a bad sign. Have 2 paracetamols, not more than 2, and see if you're gonna feel like you're gonna die. That's probably a good symptom. Another one would be if you feel like you're having a fever or you have people think that you have jaundice because of some random time, then that might be a good symptom. Anything that was discussed in this call is basically, oh, and if you have excruciating pain, please look into it somehow. Just look into it. Don't suffer through that.
Yeah,
Figure out a way for it.
don't think it's some random thing and just like, no, it's okay.
Yeah,
It'll get better. It could be having some really, like, deep cause, which could later on,
Yeah.
you can diagnose it through
Yeah,
doctors,
look
obviously.
into it. Exactly.
Yeah. So, anyways, thanks, Fayyaz. Thanks for coming to this
Welcome.
podcast and telling us about your experiences. I think it
Anytime.
was really interesting. But also it's very, like, it's good to know, like, more from your perspective, as someone who's going through it firsthand, rather than just like a few words on textbook.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll be sure to like not have this excitement when I see your mother. I'll
Thank you.
continue it. Yeah, and also special thanks to Arbis for making this meeting happen.
Definitely.
So yeah. So anyways, thank you so
All
much,
right.
and have a nice day.
You too, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Anyways, yeah. Okay. So guys, like, you say it. You say it.
Well, I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot it out to me, to Adil actually, and we'll get back for a part 2 maybe. I don't know if you guys love it. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure, like, from the 10 people who are listening to this, some of them will have questions.
At least one of them, guys. Come on, you can ask me
Come on,
interesting
at least
life
one.
stories. Yes.
Yes. Come on, someone ask us questions, please.
Please, you want to do this again?
Please.